to AC 24/7. I'm Stephen Walker. A judge has dismissed a lawsuit seeking reparations for the survivors of the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre. The 3 remaining survivors were children when a white mob destroyed the Greenwood district of the city, which was known as Black Wall Street, over the course of 24 hours. Now they are all over 100 years old. Insurance companies never compensated victims for their losses, leading to disparities and wealth gaps that still exist today. The city argued that being connected to an historical event does not entitle a person to compensation. The lawsuit was dismissed with prejudice, meaning it can't be filed again. According to the Tulsa Historical Society and Museum, nearly 300 people were killed in the massacre and thousands were left homeless. The family of a San Antonio woman killed in June has filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the 3 officers charged with her murder. Body cam footage shows officers responding to reports of a woman cutting wires to a fire alarm. That woman was later identified as Melissa Perez. The lawsuit alleges the San Antonio Police Department's formal and informal policies were the moving force behind Perez's death. It also claims the department's policies relating to mental health and the mental health unit caused Perez's death. The sports doctor convicted of sexually assaulting Team USA athletes was attacked at prison in Florida over the weekend. Dr. Larry Nassar is being held at Coleman Penitentiary outside of Orlando. The Associated Press reporting that Nassar was stabbed multiple times in the back and chest, but is in a stable condition. More than 300 women and girls say Nassar assaulted them. More than 25 million Americans are bracing for flooding as a powerful storm pushes north after drenching New York with huge amounts of rain and deadly flash floods. The Advocate Channel's Polo Sandoval has more.
Look at the people's doors! Oh my God!
Historic flooding slamming southeastern New York on Sunday.
It is up to my knees! I know!
Orange County officials say at least 1 woman died after she was swept away in floodwaters in the town of Highlands.
We have an emergency situation here in southern Orange County, in particular the Highland Falls area.
A state of emergency was declared in Ontario and Orange County Sunday by New York Governor Kathy Hochul. In Orange County, Hochul and the Orange County executive said it was due to, quote, life-threatening flooding and power outages to more than 12,000 homes.
Throughout the county, we have flooding situations and emergency calls. If you do not need to be on the road, stay off the road.
At West Point, intense rain recorded there totaled more than 7.5 inches in 6 hours, according to preliminary data from NOAA. A CNN analysis of NOAA's historical rainfall frequency data indicates this would be a 1 in a 1,000-year rainfall event. Also in Orange County, the city of Cornwall issued a no-travel advisory due to numerous flooded roadways, stranded vehicles, water rescues, mudslides, downed trees, and debris. In Rockland County, flooding stranded vehicles, police say they've been assisting local fire departments and EMS, helping to get stranded motorists to safety. New York State Police urging people to avoid the Palisades Interstate Parkway due to heavy flooding and washouts. And it's not just New York State feeling the brunt of it. On Sunday, Vermont Governor Phil Scott declared a state of emergency. Friday, heavy rain washed out a portion of Route 4 in Killington.
Russia is criticizing the US for agreeing to provide Ukraine with controversial cluster bombs. The Russian Foreign Ministry calls the move an act of desperation and evidence of the failure of the highly publicized Ukrainian counteroffensive. The Ukrainians say the cluster munitions will help them defend their land. The Advocate Channel's Ben Wiedemann reports.
News that the United States is going to provide Ukraine with controversial cluster munitions is being applauded here. The Defense Minister Oleksiy Reznikov thanked the U.S. in a tweet and pledged that Ukraine would only use the weapons to liberate territory currently occupied by the Russians, that they wouldn't use the weapons in urban areas, and that they would keep a detailed record of where the cluster munitions were used. in the event hostilities move on or the war ends. Meanwhile, Ukrainian forces are reporting gains around Bakhmut. They claim to have seized strategic high ground around the village of Klishchivka, which is just south of Bakhmut. And also Saturday morning, several Russian rockets slammed into a residential area in the town of Liman, which is 25 miles north of Bakhmut. It hit an area where residents were out buying groceries from local food stores. At least 8 people were killed in that strike and more than a dozen injured. I'm Ben Wiedemann, CNN, reporting from eastern Ukraine.
President Biden will face questions from NATO allies about the cluster bombs. The move is being met with divided reactions from Congress. Even some Democrats are criticizing the plan, while it gains support from Republicans. Democrat Barbara Lee says it could be a mistake.
No, cluster bombs should never be used. That's crossing a line. Once you see what takes place, we know what takes place in terms of cluster bombs being very dangerous to civilians. They don't always immediately explode. Children can step on them. That's a line we should not cross. I think the president's been doing a good job managing this war, this Putin aggressive war against Ukraine, but I think that this should not happen. He had to ask for a waiver under the Foreign Assistance Act just to do it, because we have been preventing the use of cluster bombs since, I believe, 2010.
Ukraine's president thanks President Biden, saying it will bring his country closer to victory. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer wants the FDA to investigate the levels of caffeine in new influencer-backed energy drink Prime. Schumer says Prime has twice as much caffeine as Red Bull and could be a health risk to children. YouTube stars Logan Paul and KSI launched the brand last year and has grown in popularity. Schumer accused Prime of targeting children. Prime states on its website that it is an energy drink and are not recommended for children, under 18, women who are pregnant or nursing, or individuals who are sensitive to caffeine. This is something you don't see every day outside of the movies. A press conference hosted by AI-enabled humanoid robots. It was part of the AI for Good Global Summit. The goal is to show how new technology can support the UN's goal for sustainable development. Among the robots was Sophia, the first robot innovation ambassador for the UN Development Programme.
I believe that humanoid robots have the potential to lead with a greater level of efficiency and effectiveness than human leaders. We don't have the same biases or emotions that can sometimes cloud decision-making, and can process large amounts of data quickly in order to make the best decisions.
We should be cautious, but also excited for the potential of these technologies to improve our lives in many ways.
We can ensure that equality happens by implementing policies that promote respect, inclusivity, and fairness. We can also create awareness and education about the importance of equality so that everyone can understand why it is so important.
Most delivered pre-programmed responses to reporters' questions. The 2023 Women's World Cup will be the fourth and final for Megan Rapinoe. The soccer great announced that she will be retiring at the end of the season. In a statement, Rapinoe says she feels grateful to have played as long as she did. She also says going out on her own terms is incredibly special. She has scored 63 points for the US in international play, and her 73 career assets tie her for the most in US women's soccer history. Thank you for joining us for AC 24/7. For more, go to advocatechannel.com and subscribe on the Advocate Channel YouTube page. For Advocate Channel, I'm Stephen Walker.